This podcast is brought to you by Voice and Vision, bringing help, hope, and healing to individuals, families, and communities affected by mental illness, addictions, and disabilities in southeastern Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Untold Valor, a podcast with a unique focus on veterans, featuring stories of courage, recovery, perseverance, and strength. Listen to hear veterans share their perspectives on what it's like to battle mental health challenges, combat addictions, and overcome other adversities unique to those who have served.
Welcome to Untold Valor, Veterans Recovery in Action. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast with our unique focus on veterans and their family members and stories of the community, and courage, recovery, perseverance, and strength. Listen as veterans and others share their perspective on what it's like to battle mental health issues, combat addictions, overcome adversities, or help those in their community who do. So we'll be speaking with experts and other folks who help us get to and through this journey that we're all on. And this week we're looking forward to a great podcast with our guest, Felecia Coffee. Felecia, welcome into the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show, and we're so excited to have you here chatting with us. As I've said on the last couple of guests, I've got your bio, but it's pretty massive, so it'll take me a while if I read the whole thing. So we'll just talk about some highlights and how you do and what you do. So thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I am blessed today. We all woke up on the other side of the dirt, so that's a blessing.
There you go. Yeah, every day above ground is a good one, right? Yes. And, of course, Reverend Ben is here with me as always. Reverend, my friend, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic.
Good to have
Glad
you
to
here.
Be here.
Yes, sir. Good to have you here. Well, Felecia, let's talk a little bit about you and all the things you do. Now, you're not currently you're active, service member yourself, but you have had family in the service, and obviously you've done a lot here. Looking at your bio, you've been mayor. You're currently on the city council at Collingdale. You're just all over the place. You've got a lot of different groups that you help out with. So tell us a little bit about you and just why you do what you do.
Well, I can start off by saying, you keep God first in everything that you do, and you never know where it's going to take you. Only He knows.
Great point.
But because I come from such humble beginnings, when you are blessed, you have no choice but to bless. So that is in life, that is where I'm at right now, because I've been so abundantly blessed by my village, the village that raised me, my mother, my father, all four of them. I was a foster child, so all four of my parents raised me, and they've instilled values in me like no other. So this is just a testament to their upbringing part of me.
That's fantastic. And you've done a lot of stuff with helping the community here. I can run through a few highlights. You founded the 23rd Street Community Association back in 1998. Looks like that kind of transitioned into something called the Empowerment Zone, which seems to be helping youth, which is awesome.
Yes. So with the Empowerment Zone, so the 23rd Street, of course, was in Philadelphia. But when I moved out here to Delaware County, I also saw that there was a great need. So I just turned the 23rd Street into the Empowerment Zone. It's called Empowering the Youth of Delaware County, doing business as the Empowerment Zone.
That's awesome.
So with that, we are the only 24-hour emergency food cupboard in the state of Pennsylvania. We service senior citizens, children in need, our veterans. We're pretty much across the board if you are in need.
Yeah, and I know that's one of the things we were going to talk about today is the fact that obviously with our focus being towards veterans and their families is, this food cupboard, helping people who need food, and our veterans as well, Ben. I know that's something that was near and dear to your heart.
Sure. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I wanted Ms. Coffee to come on. Amongst all the good things she does, one thing she does that's close to my heart is she feeds homeless veterans. And when I say homeless, I don't mean a veteran. You could have a veteran who has a home who's hungry. He can get fed too. Am I right, Ms. Coffee?
Yes. So we do not, anyone that is a veteran, no matter in what capacity you served in or anything, if you need a hot meal, they are always afforded to you on Tuesday mornings. And I've actually had a few veterans reach out to me because even beyond Tuesday, if they didn't have any food the next day or to get over the weekend, I have also provided that for them. So it's not closed off to only Tuesdays because, I'm 24 hours. So, and I also let that be known. So they understand that they can call me whenever, whatever time of the day. And if I have it, they have it.
And where is this at? You said usually this is Tuesdays. I know you say can be other days as well, but where is this usually held?
So this is held at 1023 North Street in Collingdale. It is held inside my home.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yes. So I did have the director of the Veterans Administration out here in Delaware County reach out to me because I told him I had 2 veterans, and I think one of them hit their trigger here about 2 weeks ago because they couldn't get up my step. So that was that hurt my heart. So they came out and they're going to give me a 30-foot by 30-foot tent. They're going to also provide 2 porta potties, one for men and one for women. And they're going to come and set everything up.
That's great. That's amazing. And so you're doing this emergency food cupboard, and you've been doing this for obviously a while now, helping folks all around the area. But I mean, just so much stuff that the Empowerment Zone is doing or was doing. I mean, prom dresses to high school students, school supplies. I mean, just really engaging and obviously helping in our community. And certainly that's what's needed. You know, I mean, a lot of times what we talk about with our veterans that visit with us here on the show is, you know, just kind of having someone to reach out to, talk with, sit down and have a meal with. That can go a long way to really breaking the ice sometimes and helping people, you know, maybe feel a little more comfortable getting more help in the future as well, whatever that might be.
So I do invite people that have resources, but I'm very, very funny because people can try to inundate you with whatever their business is, and I don't allow that. So we have our state rep, Heather Boyd is our state rep up here, well, my state rep, and her office provided them, you know, the veterans book up here with them. So I appreciate that. And then I have someone else about veterans abuse. She's going to come out next month. So I'm really, really funny because I don't want them, number one, to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Or number two, feel like someone is targeting them for a financial gain of any kind. So I'm very mindful of all of that. They've already given their life. They've already given their all. You're not about to take the rest of it from them and make them feel any kind of way. I don't allow that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I was kind of referring more to the fact that like some veterans are showing up for the hot meal and they're just able to kind of maybe just start chatting with other veterans, which can be helpful as well.
Now that is, you got to listen to the stories when they come here. The one guy came here last week and he just instantly started crying. So now he's crying. Now everybody in the room is crying.
Oh.
And I'm like, I said to myself, and I told him this, I said to myself, I wasn't going to get emotional. And here you come crying. He said, you want to know why I'm crying? I said, what you crying for? He said, because no one thinks of us like this. I said, well, I do. And I appreciate you for your service.
Reverend Bannon, I know that definitely touches you as well, because that's part of your own journey. It's part of what you continue to do right now in the day-to-day that you bring to the community.
Exactly. That's what kind of led me to Miss Coffee, because as you know, I also have a food cupboard also. And that's how we join forces, sharing what we have. That's what people like us do. But her passion to help people really drew me in. And then even more when she helps the veterans, because Miss Coffee has a down-to-earth approach, and she's her down-to-earth persona makes her tangible to the veterans who are coming and anybody else. So just like she has veterans for Tuesday, if veterans need a prom dress for their children, she can help them with that. There are other things other than just Tuesday that veterans can get assistance with Miss Coffee.
Right.
She's the kind of person in her service. If a veteran goes to her with an issue, if she doesn't have the answer, she will find it for you.
And that's fantastic. I mean, that's amazing, right? Because that's certainly what we need more of, in our communities across the country, period, not just in one area. So it's great. I mean, reading through your bio here, Felecia, you went down to Texas and helped out with, distributing water bottles in the city of Austin, after the winter storms back a couple of years ago. So, I mean, you're certainly...
Now, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. Our neighbors up here, because I charged every municipality. I said, it's 49 municipalities in Delaware County. I need a case of water from all of y'all. So they sent pallets. We took 58,000 bottles of water to Texas.
Amazing.
Wow.
That's
we took
amazing.
30 pallets. That was amazing.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? I mean, Ben, to your point of helping folks, within the community clearly that you live in and that you work in, but also, stepping out, reaching outside of that as well. And, and granted, that wasn't specifically just for veterans, but I think it's a great message for anybody, especially our veterans who sometimes, to Ms. Coffey's point earlier, they've already given so much, they just feel like they need, hey, a little something here, a smile here or there. It's not a handout, right? It's a hand up.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And another thing, Ms. Coffey's organization, like most of us nonprofits, we work on donations and things like that. So I wanted to mention to anybody listening who has anything they can offer to her cause, because I have personally donated to the Veteran Breakfast, and I look forward to doing more in the future. But it's us coming together as a team that really makes it happen.
Well, that's a great point. Ms. Coffey, how can people get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you to kind of engage, get started if they need help or if they just want to help?
So my phone number is my direct accessibility line. So my phone number is all over here. So I don't mind them giving me a call whenever. And they can reach me by phone. Can I say my phone number?
Yeah, and we'll put it in the show notes if that's okay with you, if you're comfortable with that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, you can put it in the show notes, but it is 215-760-6780, and I am always accessible.
Okay. And is there any kind of social or, website that we need to put in there as well for folks to get access to or to reach out to?
So yes, you can also reach me through social media on Facebook and Instagram for the Empowerment Zone. On Instagram, it's the Empowerment_Zone.
Gotcha.
For Facebook, it is the Empowerment Zone.
Okay, and we'll put links to that in there as well for folks who might want to reach out. So tell us a little bit about what you've got going on, what's coming up, things that we're working on here in the near future.
So right now, we're gearing up for Memorial Day. Out here in Collingdale, we do a really big, and then Mission Barbecue always donates. I get them to donate for our Memorial Day celebration here. And we have the 100 motorcycle salute for our veterans. And it's amazing out here. And also I do a big Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day from 12 to 2 for our veterans. The past 2 years, Kasha's Bakery, they have, and that's in South Philly, they have been baking all our turkeys. They do all 12 of our turkeys at one time.
Wow.
So, that is amazing. And we get our turkeys from City Team. City Team is in Chester, and they donate all their turkeys to me for the veterans.
That's fantastic.
So that is our last big thing is the Thanksgiving dinner. And with that, we had last year I had Yellowbird donate services, and they brought the men and women down here. It was 2 busloads of veterans, and they got coats, they got clothes, they got socks, shoes, hats, gloves. It was amazing the amount of support that our veterans got on Thanksgiving. People say, "Oh, you're not going to do it on Thanksgiving every year." Yes, I am. We eat on Thanksgiving. Why don't they?
There you go.
And then one guy said, I wouldn't have ate today if it wasn't for this. I said, well, you're going to eat every year now.
Amen.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, you're currently, like I said, the chairperson of Collingdale on the Democratic Committee. Is that correct as well? So, you're just busy. How do you keep up?
So I was the chair, but
okay.
I stepped down from being the chair. I'm just on the committee because it's a lot of work with that.
Yeah, yeah. Born and raised.
So our chair now is Missy Lane Melton. She's the chair.
Gotcha. And so you're born and raised in, looks like you're born in Germantown, raised in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Yeah. Philly girl.
Yes.
Nice. Very good.
Yep.
Well, it's always one of these things where we need more people like yourself, right, to just kind of help in whatever capacity that might be, because there's so many folks out there struggling in various different walks of life. And certainly when it comes to our veterans, right, this is certainly a place where, that's near and dear to us here on this podcast on Untold Valor. So, Reverend Ben, what about you? Anything else that I might have missed on here you want to talk about?
I think we pretty much covered it, Mark, but I just wanted to our listeners to know that there are people named Ms. Coffee who are willing to help veterans. But I wanted to specifically talk about Ms. Coffee today because of what she does. And I'm going to put the word out for the veteran that's listening who needs help. And also for any providers out there who can provide services or donate some food or resources, is always welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Felecia, I always wrap up the podcast with this, and we're going to put a lot of information to some of your links as well as your bio in the show notes for folks to check out, because there's just so much stuff that you've done for folks in the area that's just it's a great read. There's a lot of stuff in here. So, what is kind of a takeaway what kind of motivates you, I think, to help others, around you and in the area? Would be one question, and then the second one would be kind of a final message for those out there listening who kind of feel like they need some help but aren't sure where to start.
So not to be repetitive, but my biggest saying is when you are blessed, you have no choice but to bless.
Mm-hmm. And the second question would just be a message that you might have for those out there that are listening that sometimes feel the struggle, like where to find help or even how to ask for help.
No question or no ask is too small. So you have to just step out on faith and ask. That is what I've always been taught. Mm. No question is too dumb. No thought is too big or too small.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, getting together, meeting with folks. I mean, that's what the folks at Voice and Vision do. That's part of, Compure Core as well. It's getting veterans with other veterans, getting veterans with other people. Sometimes just having conversations with folks that are in the same walk of life that you're in can go a long way to helping you. And sometimes maybe that's just as simple as having something to eat at one of these veterans events that Ms. Coffee puts on. So if you'd like some more information or to attend, right, just reach out to you.
Yes, and maybe one day you, Reverend Ben, and Miss Olga can all come down and, help serve the vets.
There you go. Yeah. We'll make an event out of it. We'll get the whole team down there to help out. So if you got some questions, folks, need some help, as always, please reach out to some of the links that we provide in the show notes. We put a lot of information in there, different kinds of resources for folks to reach out to if you're in need of help, if you're looking for some assistance, whether it be some mental health issues or addiction issues, or just where to get a hold of our today's guest and how to come out for a meal, things of that nature. Don't be shy and don't hesitate to reach out to the links we provide in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening to the podcast. This is Untold Valor, Veterans Recovery in Action. And don't forget to subscribe to us or share the podcast with those who could benefit from the message. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, Ms. Coffee, for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Reverend Ben, my friend. I'll see you next time.
See you then.
We'll catch you later here on Untold Valor. You've been listening to Untold Valor by Voice and Vision. We hope you found the information and resources discussed today helpful. As always, thank you for listening and for your support. Remember to stay connected with us through our various social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to visit the website, voiceandvisioninc.org. That's voiceandvisioninc.org, where you can sign up for our blog and find free resources and information on upcoming events, webinars, workshops, and get support. You can also access our free help and hope guide for individuals and families struggling with substance use and addiction. If someone you know is struggling, please reach out for help because you and your life matter. Remember, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available to you at any time by dialing 988. We are all ambassadors of hope and recovery. And if you want to share your story, please contact us. Compure Core is also looking for veteran mentor volunteers and veteran participants. To find out more information about Compure Core, please call 610-541-0790. That's 610-541-0790. You can find all the links and contact information for the resources mentioned on today's episode by checking the description and the show notes section of your app. Thank you again for tuning in and for your support. Until next time, this has been Untold Valor.